Me and Logan are now joined here by 2017 LEC Tournament Most Outstanding Player, two-time LEC Defensive Player of the Year, and former Keene State Owl, Stephanie Donalfo. Stephanie, how are we doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing outstanding. How does it feel? You mentioned before we started this interview you haven't been here since you played. How does it feel to be back on campus?
It's very nostalgic. Feels good. Feels like I never really left. It's been about 4 years, or 5 years, I should say, since I've played / I coached here as well, following. But it's strange because you leave for that long, but then because of the family that you create here, it's like you never left. So it's been very nostalgic.
And Stephanie, you mentioned you coached as well. I'm looking at this right now. Throughout your 4-year career here, there's only 2 games you did not start. Is that something coming into Keene State that you expected to be looking at right here today?
Well, so it's a funny story because, you know, you come in and coach is very honest with everyone about, you know, you can be the best player in your high school or whatever, but if you don't show up to practice and you don't work hard every day, then you don't get the time and the reward. So coming in as a freshman, that's all I wanted to do was just to work really hard, earn my playing time. And I remember I was kind of out of the loop and a little naive to everything and didn't think that as a freshman I would be starting. And then it came first game, warming up, and then we go down to the locker room and I saw, the lineup, and it was, Steph Donalfo, number 14, out there and starting. And I go, wait, what? Really? Like, I got that? I did it? And, looking back at it, it kind of makes sense because I felt that, I put in all that effort to work on my shot, to get my strength up and stuff like that. So it just goes to show for any player that's anywhere, playing on any team for any sport, that if you put in the effort and you work hard enough, then you get rewarded, So I think those 2 games that I didn't start, I know one of them was I was injured. I don't remember the other one, but...
As I told you before, you were the 2-time LEC Defensive Player of the Year, but you also seem to be a really good scorer. Was scoring something was defense something that you grew up doing? Was that like your personality as a player?
Yeah.
Or did you kind of grow into a two-way player the more you were under Coach Bouchette?
Yeah, so I credit my brother to my skill. He used to bring me out to we live in an apartment complex, and we had like a little tennis court out there, but we had no hoops or anything, so we bought a basketball hoop, and he used to take chalk and draw ladders out for me, and I used to do like little agility drills and stuff like that. But he used to always tell me that you can score, working on your shot and all of that, but you can score even more if you play defense, and then you score off of your defense. So I don't know if maybe that was just more motivating to me, but as far as my personality goes, it feels a lot better in my eyes to stop someone than it does to defeat someone, I guess, if that makes sense. And I mean, I guess I just felt that I was better at it. So, go off your strengths, if that's what you're really good at, then you go off of that. And I think that my offense really came off of my defense. I mean, I was a scorer, later on in my career, but it was mostly off of my defense, get the stop, get the rebound, and just go. But yeah.
Yeah, and then one of the oldest terms you hear in any sport is defense is the best offense. So you definitely lived up to that with, again, your 2-time LEC Defensive Player of the Year. I'm going to talk about the 2017. You were champions then. And then in the championship game at Eastern Connecticut, you dropped 21 points. I believe that was your season high that year. What were the emotions before that game, coming into a championship game like that?
Well, that was a really special year, mainly because I started that year off injured. As a background, I had never been injured middle school, high school, all of college, never been injured enough to, have to be in a boot, whatever. But I broke my ankle at the very beginning of that season before games even started. And at one point, I went to urgent care, and they said, if you don't take care of this, you're going to walk with a limp for the rest of your life. And I go, no way. So, I, did all of the therapy that I needed to do, got back, got healthy. And it was hard. I didn't come back strong right away. But I know that whole team, that was a very special team. We all had that goal, and we were all together for a really long time. And so we all had that one end goal. And then going back to the whole defensive model of like what my game was, I remember right before that game, we have our offensive game and we have the plays that we run, and we had like the shooters and the drivers, and we had our post player. But I remember huddling them up before and saying, what's going to win this championship? And we all agreed defense is going to win it. And I said, and I said it about 3 or 4 times. I said, one more time, tell me what's going to win this game. And they said defense. And I said, all right, we're going to go play defense, and then our offense will come, because that's kind of how our game rolled. So I'm gonna say that probably my defense is what got me all those points. But it's funny because I was looking. Coach has like a little frame in his office with like the article and everything, and it has one of my quotes in it. And I remember saying that I got the MVP of that tournament, but that wasn't the goal. The goal was to get the championship for the team, and even more special that it's Coach's first championship. So that's like a really special memory that I have with him. And that whole team, that was a very special team. We worked hard. A lot of people didn't really necessarily think we were going to win it, but, we were able to prove them wrong.
That's awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Stephanie.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you.